Hello guys, Boss with Lamas here, and I just went to the Detroit Regional. I didn't do so well. I got a draw round one, round two I won, and then round three I should have won. Like I mastered to blow up his field, and I didn't blow up Jackal. I was just too tired, so then round four, game one I lost, and then I just gave him the win and dropped. But getting into the deck, I played Pendulum Ftk. And I definitely feel like this deck was the best deck in the whole room. Like I saw people playing their decks, and like their first turn board was like Ding or like the new IP guy to summon out Unicorn and like a way to Ding, and I could easily break that board and push through that. So I feel like Pendulum was just like a really good deck. And then going first, you just FTK through like you can FTK through hand traps depending on the hand. So starting off. Three Servant, obviously the best one. Three Magister. This card was at 2 before I like started doing my FTK, and then I put it up to 3 because it's another level 3. And having the level 3s on board is, well, you need a level 3 on board to do the FTK. And then 2 Master. I didn't play one of those because you could Desires it away or Lure it away, and you always want to be able to get to one of it, especially if you're playing against like a rogue matchup. That's it for the Endymion monsters. And then 3 Cerberus. This card adds either this or this, and these cards are good in their own way. So Cerberus is really good because it's like a starter that just gets something on board. This is the best normal summon, and I only play 2 because I don't want to play a lot of normal summons, because sometimes you have to normal summon to do your play, like normal summon any random monster to do your play, but this is the best normal. And then this will bring out this, which will let this start to get spell counters, which is how you do the FTK. And then it also will make your Servant better, because you don't have to have Servant Extender, you already would have had the Extender. And then play a lot of those mythical beasts. I like the numbers I played. I don't think 3 Jackal's right. I think 2's right because you don't want to Desires them away, and you don't want to, and you want to be able to lure one away. And then 3 Chrono and 1 Time Gazer because I wanted some type of extender, and this was the best one because it put a level 3 in the extra deck, and this doesn't have like the Servant Magister can only be special summoned once. This doesn't say that, and this also protects your scales while it's a monster, so that's pretty cool. And then Sloth. This is gonna get taken out because I just do the FTK going first, and I feel like this was there just in case like Desires banished like the FTK, and I don't know, this should have probably just been a Reflection, like just 1 Reflection, because Reflection going second is so good. And then 1 Hollow. This is the FTK card. It's spooky season. It's the Pendulum level 3 tuner, and it's also a dark. It's the only one that has all of those, so that's why you have to play it. And it's also a low scale, which is cool. Scale doesn't do much, it just changes the levels if you like roll a dice. And then that's it for the monsters. Spells, Upstart 3 Into the Void, 36 card deck. These cards are all really good, and if you draw like Into the Void off Electrum Draw, or like the second Desires or something, and then when you go for the Tempest Magician, you can use its effect to discard to make your guys gain a counter, and discarding this is good. Or like discarding any like bad card is good. It makes any bad card do something. And then 3 Allures, obvious. This works really well with I'll just show you the Institution, and then 3 Desires. Like if you're playing 3 Mastery, then you should be playing 3 Desires, because like they're both once per turn effects, and they're both really good once per turn effects. And I felt like I was okay with playing multiples, because if I drew one dead of them later on, then I could just discard it from my Tempest Magician, and my play would have been the exact same. And also, you just want to see those cards. 3 Institution, because this card says Search, and it's not a once per turn. And this card like gains counters if your mythical beasts die, but that like never comes up. This like the reason I said like Allure comes up with it is because you remove spell counters to add a monster from your deck or extra deck from hand that can have spell counters placed on it, and this can, so you can use that to search this and then allure this away. So that's a really like cool combo with this, and this also like searches master against back row decks for game. And then 2 Citadel Terraforming, obvious ratios, just because you want more spells and Citadel is really good with the deck. And then the extra deck, 1 Almirage, if you like have Magister at like 3 spell counters or something like that, but you don't have one in extra deck and your draw spell got you to Servant or like Baby Jackal, then you can normal it, turn it into this, Magister, summon out your 2 dudes, and then make the next card I play Electrum down there, and then obviously you play Electrum, and then the next card I play that you would be able to make with that would be the Draco Master, and this card just takes at least 1 Link monster, and then it points down all 3, so it's better than the Zephyra. And then it also, you can use the pop effect if you have Hollow on board, which is, it's cool, but it never comes up. And then Psyframe for normal Link to Phoenix to pop something, Unicorn to just spin Colossus, because that comes up sometimes where you want to have a really easy out to it. This could have been anything. I had like no other good extra cards. I'm gonna put like the cards to the side that should have been super poly targets. And then Appaloosa, you make this card a lot if you don't have TK, because this card's really good if you don't have TK. That and Sloth is like game. Borrelord Dragon, mainly just for pure thunder. You can take their Titan and then you have them under like a pretty cool lock. Boral Sword, you usually don't make this when you're going for game, but it's there just in case. And then I played FA Dawn Dragster, which I actually don't know why was in the extra deck. That was in there back when I was playing the level 4 Mythical Beast. I actually like had no way to make this card, but it didn't matter. Like I said, the extra deck was just so open, like you weren't making like most of this extra deck. And then I played Photon Strike Balancer, which is actually a good card. I'll explain more on that in a minute. And then Naruto, 2 level 6 spellcasters to make a negate for a spell or trap. So like if you like make a Appaloosa, then you can use your Jackal and Chrono to make this, because the Jackal effect won't matter. You want to have at least 1 spell trap negate if you're not FTKing. And then Tempest Magician, this card says remove 16 counters, burn for 8,000. When it's summoned, it gains a counter. You can discard cards and then put 1 spell counter on like each of your cards that are on each of your monsters that can have spell counters. And then so then like that's really good with like this, because it's a level 6, so you can use this and Jackal to make this, and then this can do the last 1,000 damage, so your opponent can't activate a monster effect after that or they lose. So that's just in case, like, not if you like mess up the FTK, but like if things get unfortunate and you're like 1 or 2 off. And then I play Stardust Charge Warrior, Synchro 6 that lets me draw 1 that can attack a lot of things. Again, another card in the extract that wasn't needed. And then a Gave Dragon. This card, insane. So, like I said, like a really normal play is like Electrum, and then like do your stuff, and then you make this, and you like Pendulum under it. Well, like when time's coming up, you can have Jackal and Master on board, this, and then you make this, and then this guy lets you gain 400 life points, and then you win in time. So this card's good. And then These three should have been 3 super poly targets, like 1 Venom. I don't even know. Just like cards good versus like Thunder and combo. And I wouldn't have like the Salad card in here. And then, so for the extra deck, side deck, 3 turn eccentric to pop back row. That's a scale. Garuda, pop back row, and it's searchable off Cerberus. And it has like a cool hand effect too, where you can like bounce their card by removing spell counters. 1 Aether, this should have been not there, and this should have been Sloth that was in the main deck. And then Reflection, and then the Sloth in the main deck should be Reflection. And this one in the side deck should still be in the side deck, because it's like really good going second. So I wanted one of it in the main deck, because of how good it is going second. Your deck already wins going first. And then 2 Sphere Mode. Should have been 2 Super Poly, or it should have been 3 Super Poly right here. And then I also played 3 Dark Ruler No More. And it should have only been 2. Just because like the Pendulum ending board, which is like you do this to the Pendulum ending board and Thunder end board, and Super Poly would wipe that, and Super Poly would wipe the other one. And also, like, this is really bad against the Zephyr engine of Pendulum. And you don't know if they're playing that because they can side it in just to send it off Electrum. 1 Necker Valley, so this card's like really insane because you can search off Terraforming, and if you're on second against Orchist or Salad, you just put this in, and if you see it, you win. I didn't want to play more of it though, because like it can clonk up like your field spell zone. Like if you even draw like more, like if you draw like 2 Citadel or 2 this, it'll clonk up your field spell, or if you draw a Citadel after this. So it was just like a really good one of, and so is Secret Village. I know this deck has like an instant win against Striker because Master's scale effect says destroy like 6 cards on board. It destroys their entire board and you just win. But want another card to search off Terraforming that allowed me to just auto win against a deck. 1 Eradicator. I needed 1 more card against back row. I needed 1 card against back row decks, 1 going first, because I was just taking out Sloth to put this in, which was wrong, and I found that out like before the regional like even started. I knew that this wouldn't have been in my deck, because you want to keep Sloth in case if you banish the FTK you want to play around Super Poly. And then 1 Reboot, which is right because you side in 5 cards against back row decks, and you want 3 of those because you want to see this a lot, because it also has like the normal summon effect. Like you can normal summon it to out something too, and it's a high scale. And then that you don't want to see this a lot because it has to be the only card in the scale. And then Reboot. That's it for the deck. I'll show. So like what you do is like you'd have that like up here, and then you'd have like Citadel, Jackal way over, and then you'd use the normal play is this is probably the way you do it the most, because Magister can summon itself from the scale later on, and Servant you usually have already done that, and then you synchro them away to make Tempest Magician. Then you get the effect of gain counters, and then you discard so that way you guys gain more counters, and then use the effect. If you upstarted, you need 18 counters. If you didn't, then you need 16 counters. And that's so easy to get because this gains 2 counters every time. This gains a counter every time. You're playing so many spells, and you can get that on board to put more counters, that on board to get more counters. Magister summons out usually that, so then Tempest Magician will be able to give this a counter too, so then you'll have more counters. The deck's really cool. I went, like, I think every time I went first except for once, I FTK'd. and he opened up Nib, double impermanence. So like I was like Jackal negate, and then he was like Nib. I was like Jackal. He went permanence. I chained Master. He chained permanence on Jackal, and that was game. But that's it for the deck profile. Like, comment, and subscribe. Boss with Moss signing out.